Hello everyone and welcome back to Polluted Rock Podcast. Today we will talk about the pro and con of nuclear energy. Today we're here with Purin and Minnie. So let's see what is his opinion.
Okay, so talking about nuclear energy, everybody may be intimidated by the name, for example, me, because nuclear energy hasn't been kind of properly introduced to people, because the only thing that they publish on the news is kind of something like factory just blew up and leave like radiation everywhere. So people kind of get the impression of nuclear energy being the bad guys in every situation. So I would like to shine some lights on the advantages on kind of the energy that nuclear process produce. So first of all, it is relatively kind of cheap to produce the energy from nuclear plants, because even though the initial price that you pay at first to build everything is a pretty expensive cost, the energy you get from it is, when you kind of do the math and compare it together, it's kind of worth it actually. The second point I will be talking about is it doesn't kind of produce that much pollution compared to the other types of energy producing, for example like coal burning and fossils processing, because those things kind of, you have seen some pictures of like a factory with black smoke coming out of a pipe. Nuclear energy doesn't really have that, so it's not completely pollution free, but compared to the other kind of in the industry, it's pretty light. So that is also one of the strong points. And let's not forget that it is one of the kind of their energy source that produce a tremendous amount of energy for the city and everything, because here, as it says, in a nuclear fission reaction is 10 million times greater than the amounts released in burning fossil and fueled atoms. So as you can see, it's produce much more energy with maybe relatively lower cost and less pollution. So on the bright side, it is actually a really kind of sustainable, really great source of energy that people should be kind of give more credit to.
And is there any like disadvantage of the nuclear power? Like, which is the most like important disadvantage of this energy?
There is, of course, a lot of disadvantages of nuclear energy, because accidents can happen and there's a lot of things that is left out when those things happen. So I would like to send it on to Minnie to explain all that.
Okay, so as Purin said, that nuclear energy has a lot of benefit, but I am not agree with that. So I agree with some of them, but there is a information that it's not an information. It's a fact that in a nuclear energy, after they have a fission. Nuclear fission, yeah. They will leave radioactive waste. It is a waste from nuclear energy that is a big problem for our environment. So we don't have any idea how to reduce it, or use it, or we don't have to.
So that's quite a strong point about the con of it. Like, it actually, we couldn't like recycle anything that they produce, and like.
Yep, it is really. I would like to add on that point that those radiation gets everywhere. It comes in many different forms, mainly 3 forms. It's like solid, it's liquid, it's gas.
Yeah.
So once, for example, a factory blew up, it gets everywhere, and it carries all around the world with the wind and through the water flow. So
with the soil.
When animals eat it and you eat the animal, it also comes directly to you. So that is a pretty scary things to be imagining, and also it's pretty hard to deal with. We don't really know get rid of it
Yeah.
completely, because as you can see, for example, if there's a kind of
Effect.
a
is-
plant kind of blow up, people
Oh,
they just
yeah.
kind of like block the area out because they don't know how to kind of clean it
Yeah.
completely.
Because when the nuclear plant has blew up, they has a lot of effect to environment, and the big problem is the problem with the human health, because
VT.
radioactivity brings the cancer to the human or animals. They change the structure of DNA. Yeah, your face will turn away. You will be more ugly. Yeah, and everything, your organ will be ruined. Yeah, and this is the big effect if the nuclear plants is not that safe. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has a really like damaging, if not fatal, kind of
Yeah.
effects on the human health.
So I also heard that even it is has a very high risk. Like even in a highly security such as Japan still have accident about this factory, which like even though they say that the radioactive that loose in the air or loose in the environment is very little compared to the radioactive that's left in the factory, but that little percentage, what do you think about it?
Actually, that is a really interesting point to bring up, because even though they can measure how much kind of radioactivity got out in the environment, it may be not that big of a number at all, but the effects that is coming after with the pollution and everything from that, people can get mutated from radiation, cannot be calculated in any ways, because we can never predict the future, and a really little amount of radiation can cause a big problem, because we don't really know how to deal with it, and we don't know how to cure it if there's something that has gone wrong in the future. So it is a really important point that people should take into their consideration when it comes to like nuclear plants.
So thank you everyone for listening to us. See you on the next episode. Bye.